If you've had problems with your Fire Maple lava stove, this is a video you want to watch. I want to talk to you about the Fire Maple lava stove. Now, I have two. Yeah, I have two, and the reason why is because I had problems with my very first stove. I thought it was the stove. I had another stove sent to me, used it. It worked absolutely awesome. And then it didn't work right again. Then I went back onto YouTube and I saw other YouTubers using this same stove, and they used it once and it looked great and it worked perfect when they were doing it for all stove testing. And then they went to actually go utilize the stove in the outdoors and it failed on them. This stove right here is a multi-fuel stove, so you can use this with gasoline, kerosene, camp fuel, isobutane. Wonderful stove. I used it with camp fuel right here. This is the pump. I used it with this. When I was using it, it worked great. The next day, I went to go use it on my isobutane canister, went to go use it, and it absolutely did not work. I'll use this stove here to show you. I pulled this assembly off right here, like this. So I could look down at the fuel jet on the inside. And the fuel jet right in here was perfectly clean. I wasn't getting any fuel, like absolutely no fuel from the canister to the stove. And I know that because I opened up the valves all the way on the stove, nothing was coming through. And then I would crack this guy right here loose. When I would crack this guy loose, coming from the canister, fuel would shoot out of here. So that told me, where am I backed up? Am I backed up here? So I left fuel on, pulled this blossom for the burner apart, opened up, pulled the fuel jet out, no fuel was coming through the port. So I knew with this valve all the way open, either this valve here was sticking or I was stuck somewhere in here. So it leads me to my find, and let me show you guys what I found. I found that this guy right here had no fuel coming out of it, and when I cracked this loose, like this, I noticed fuel would shoot out of there. Okay, so this is where we're going to talk a little bit about the problem that I found. I found that fuel would shoot through here. So let me show you the seal that is in here. See, the seal's out. You see the little jet? The light hit it. Okay. This guy right here. See that? That's a seal. But the seal has a little bit of a button on the top of it. You see that? That is going down inside of here. Here's the problem. When you use isobutane and you switch over to gasoline, or you switch over to camp fuel, whatever it may be, whatever fuel you're choosing to use, this seal right here becomes spongy. And when it becomes spongy, it expands. Now, when I was trying to push fuel to that burner, I pulled this seal out and I held it up to the light and I could not see through this seal. This seal had expanded and it would not let anything pass through it. So, what did I do? Let me show you. On the new stove that I was sent, I'm going to show you right here. I'm going to open it up, make sure my fuel is off. Once you put pressure on the back of this seal, it's going to It's going to flex a little bit. Okay. See that? Probably can't see it very well, can you? See that seal? Okay. So here is what I have done to that seal. I made it look like an O-ring. Right? Can you see that? It's still flat, but now it has a really wide opening. So what this does is this allows this fitting to be completely sealed all the way around, and for it to completely seal up against the burner valve body. Okay, because that's what it is. This is a valve for the burner. And it allows me to still seal around this outer lip right here, which is what you're really trying to seal around anyway. So I'm sealing on the outside of this burner valve body, and I'm sealing on the inside of this fitting. This is a female fitting. No matter what fuel type I use now, it's fine. This thing can expand a little bit and it can contract. And it's almost funny feeling it right now after it is set without any fuel touching it for a few hours. It's hard again. When I was using it, when I cut it, it was almost like feeling a little bit of a sponge in my hand. It was really, really soft. So this is what I'm thinking. For one, Fire Maple, please create a flat, wide open seal and make it available for people. If people have already bought a stove for you, please send them this seal. 2, why is that seal not in the seal kit that comes with the stove? 3, if you have a pair of scissors, you can cut your own seal. But my other problem is this. If that seal is becoming spongy, that means that it's probably not a good seal to be using around fuels. See, fuels are petroleum-based. Well, most fuels are petroleum-based. And if you're using a petroleum-based fuel and you're using a petroleum-based seal, the petroleum that's in the fuel is going to break the seal down. So, are these seals cheap? Were they affordable for the company to buy in bulk? Were they not aware that their fuels in their stoves were going to break the seals down? But this is funny because right now this is very hard. You can see I'm squeezing it, okay, and it's open. So let's just do one live right now. Let's stick this in the newer one, okay. Stuck it in there. Oops, it fell out. Stuck it in. I know the leg's not in it. I'm not really overly concerned about that right now. Because right now I know the seal is open. You hear that? Nothing. Nothing. Now watch. You hear it? You see how it started pushing a little bit through my burner? As soon as I tightened it down, nothing. And this valve is all the way open. Watch this. I'm going to close this canister. Closing this valve here. So canister is closed, valve is closed. Open this up. A little bit of that fuel came off it. Okay, now watch this. This seal did not let any of that fuel come through it. But now this is now wet from the fuel. I don't know if I can show you guys this, how how flimsy it is now. It's super, super flimsy, okay? It's just from the fuel touching it. Now, I'm gonna take this guy. This is the seal that I made out of this seal by just cutting the butt out of it. I'm gonna stick it right into here. I'm not going to cut any of this out. I want you guys to see what I'm talking about. Okay. Okay, it's tight. That valve is open. Listen. I'm just fooling with the flame. So I'm turning it all the way up. Worked just fine. Now, let's keep the film rolling. I'm gonna switch fuels, okay? So, turn this off, turning this off. Pulling the canister off. This right here is camping fuel, so this is white gas. And this guy right here just goes right into here. Always when you're doing that, double check to make sure you're shut off. Okay? So, I'll turn him on there. I wonder if I could just do this number. Well, yeah, because one way turns this on also and it turns it off. So when the stove is set like this, it's on, and when you actually rotate it, it actually shuts the stove off too. So make sure we are nice and snug there, which we are. We'll close this guy down right here on the side because all this does is this is for isobutane. Oh, and I also want to show you guys this real quick. Check this out. This is really cool to me. Oh, not this end. This hole right here, see that hole? It's so you can hold your tool. Isn't that freaking awesome? So your tool is just part of your stove assembly. Pretty cool. I love it. So let's give ourselves, I'm gonna close this valve up. We're gonna go 25 pumps. Okay, so the next thing I'm gonna do, I'm gonna keep this one closed down here on the bottom. This is closed. I'm gonna open this one up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm gonna close it. I'm gonna set it on its side. I'm gonna open this guy up down here. I'm gonna light him. As you can see, he's burning. Okay. I'm gonna put it right here so you guys get a good view of this. He's burning. Get that chamber. That's a really good view, is it? Get that chamber nice and burning. Now see how it's starting to go out? Okay, it's fine. Now that he's out, I'm gonna open him up. I'm gonna open up this valve over here on the stove because it was closed. Now that chamber's nice and warm. Valve is open. This chamber is open. I have my control right here. And then, if I want to just shut it off, I take this stove right here and I just flip it over. Watch this. You'll see this guy. See how he's already starting to sputter? He will sputter out. So I'm not feeding fuel to that system anymore. See how she's going out? That is awesome. Yep, still going. I'll reach over and kill that valve since I'm not pushing any more fuel in there. And I'll let the whole system empty itself out. So I'm going to do a more in-depth outdoor review with this stove, okay? Without a doubt. I absolutely think that this stove is amazing. The only issue that I saw and that I have personally had was with it failing to work a second time. The failures in the seal. Petroleum-based products break down other petroleum-based products. That's why if you have grease on your hands, you can put gasoline on your hands and it'll clean the grease right off your hands. And other things. That's why oil will remove other oil or grease off of things if you're cleaning them. But the point is this guy, the stove obviously went out, as you can see it's smoking. This guy right here is not quite right. This needs to be fixed and updated, and I know that Fire Maple cares enough that they're going to remedy this issue. That's all I got to say about that. Thank you guys so much. I appreciate you. I appreciate your time. If you love stoves, come take a look at us on Stoveaholics, or if you just like camping, please give me one of those likes, give me one of those subscribes. I love to see that, and I love having conversations with you guys. We'll see you soon.